Well, hey there, everybody. This is Bubba B. Today we got a great old episode for you out these Beehooligans. We got a bunch of these fellas out in the field right now, just sitting, waiting to get started. They doing live bee removals, and so the whole episode today is going to be talking about doing live bee removals, taking them out of buildings and swarm captures and tools that they use and the way they go about doing things. And heck, I do believe they even talking about having lunch while they on the job. That's about how far into it these fellas are going to get. So you kick back, relax, grab yourself something to drink, and I'm sure you're going to enjoy everything these fellas have to say. You stay tuned now. Kick this on over to Big Bear and all them fellas over there. They'll take care of you right.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Beehooligans Be Smart podcast. This is Big Bear. We're going to get a good podcast again today. We got pretty much the whole crew fitting in at one point or another. We're down to JP, Shawi, myself, Yeppy, and Anthony G over there. And everybody's busy doing bee stuff today. We got JP, you're down there. You're getting in between jobs, aren't you, bud?
Yeah, I got a big one I'm about to start. They've been in the ceiling of a neat little building for a couple of years, and there's a little hole in the ceiling, and the bees are getting in, and so they're ready for them to go.
The bees up high. Yappy, you're about ready to start something after this, aren't you?
Headed to it right now. Can't wait to get there. Got them in a garage wall. The homeowner has been there for 3 going on 4 years. They've had bees there the whole time, and the guy they bought the house from said that he knew that bees were there when he sold them the house. Go figure.
Hey.
But anyway, this is going to be a very well-established colony, and I expect to have a lot of bees.
Sweet. Andy G, you looking kind of wore out there, brother. You have a busy salsa night?
Nah, not on Monday. Class night, but yeah, this weather's got me dragging.
I hear you. That's what happens to old broke firemen. Speaking
of weather, how's that weather doing in Alabama, Yappy?
Oh man, we got some storms rolled through here last night, and I tell you what, I'm a little bit worried. We're having a lot more rain right now than I'm kind of used to. I'll say this, when they say April showers bring May flowers, well, it's March. Our atmosphere of the world is showing that we're actually about 3 weeks ahead of schedule on our season. So I'm going to say the May showers are hopefully going to bring some April flowers, and we can get these bees rocking and rolling.
Well, that sounds fun. I know we're starting to get a little rain up here too, so I'm expecting to get some good, hopefully some production, be a good production year, honey-wise, at least around these parts anyway.
You don't want to be a weatherman down in my parts.
Rain, and more rain?
Every little front that they talk about gets held up like 3, 4, 5 days, and then a lot of times it just doesn't happen.
Well, yeah.
I look at the radar. That's about it. That's what tells me what's going on.
There you go. Well, that actually kind of gives me a topic, because we were talking a little today about what today's topic was going to be. And besides, a lot of times like we do, we just kind of riff or wing it there. But I was thinking, as I was talking with Yappy a little bit coming in, we could, everybody's kind of busy on bee activity. You're busy. Shawi's going to be joining us a little bit late because he's doing a swarm capture. You guys are going to do live bee structural removals. And you guys are all dealing with this kind of goofy weather and the different elements. And I thought, what a perfect opportunity to talk about the things that we have to face, logistically, environmentally, when we get ready to do live bee removals, especially structural or even swarm captures. Since you guys are literally right in the thick of it right now. It's kind of like catch you guys in live. So I know you said you're doing Yappy out of a interior of a house, or are you working from the exterior?
No, the customer called and they said they had bees coming in and out of their eave. Went by there, took a look at it, and come to find out it has nothing to do with the eave itself. They're coming. I apologize. They're coming in from the outside at the eave level, where the brick meets the edge of the eave. They were under this assumption that the bees were up in the eave, and through evaluation, I found that the bees are actually in the wall of the garage.
Okay, now you say evaluation. How did you evaluate that? What did you use?
I do some temperature readings with the infrared handheld contraption that reads different levels of temperature on what I point the meter at, and you just you have to be. It's real hard to explain. JP do it better, but you just look for fluctuations in where there's temperatures in a wall or ceiling or something like that.
Right.
And so through evaluating those temperatures, there was a major spike in one section, which isn't really honestly common because I'm using one of the cheaper ones, and sometimes it'll show just a minor fluctuation. It could be, depending on how big the void is, it can only show a half a degree, and that fluctuation isn't always a 100%. Yeah, here they are, but it's one of the tools that I use to help me find where a hive is located.
Well, at least if nothing, it gets you started closer to where they're at, so you're not cutting off, and then find yourself end up having to cut, an 8-foot strip out. You're getting causing less structural work to be done by at least homing in on where they seem to be at. Oh yeah, I mean, the way I would explain it to somebody, you seriously have to have an understanding of construction and an honest, thought. I mean, if you're in a newer construction home, I'm talking the last 20, 30 years, it's not guaranteed that there's going to be insulation in the wall, but it's not guaranteed that there's not. But when I got into this particular situation, I felt more comfortable with the fact that there's not going to be insulation in a garage wall in this situation than there was a chance that there would be. So that's kind of how the backing it up with the thought of the construction, and then the reading the temperatures and a few different things, that kind of helped me to diagnose where it's at. Now, I'll definitely, before I go cutting holes in the wall, I will go through and I'll do some inspecting. While I'll drill a hole, I've got an inspection camera, and I'll put the little camera lens up in the hole, and I'll see if I'm confirmed by finding comb. I don't generally cut into anything until I know that I've seen comb in it. So the way you're describing, if you're talking about what I think you're talking about, because I've got one too. That's what I use, is a little endoscope. I don't know if you got the single unit. Mine actually attaches to my cell phone, or my smartphone. So the wire plugs into the bottom of my smartphone, and I can watch the image, from the wire, from the endoscope camera, as I move it around inside a hole or a void, a gap somewhere, but I know I've seen units that are like single piece units too, where it's a handheld mini screen, and then you have this probe, with the endoscope camera. Is that something like you're talking about?
Yeah, I got mine at Harbor Freight, and that's what I use, is the Harbor Freight edition.
So it's the handheld unit, not the kind that connects to a smartphone.
Correct.
Okay, those are good. And do you like that one?
Oh, I love it. I mean, I absolutely love it. It's a lot easier to repair a hole the size of a pencil in somebody's drywall as opposed to cut out a big old piece of drywall and find out there's no bees in it.
Oh, exactly. I'm telling you. Now, JP, you're doing similar stuff now. Is the ones you're working on going to be interior or exterior?
It's an interior of a little annex on the back of a building upstairs, and sheetrock ceiling, and where the ceiling and the wall meet, there's a little hole. I don't know who made the hole, but bees are coming out in the room. But as Yappy was saying, I use thermal equipment, the little handheld infrared thermometers. Work pretty great. I'm particularly fond of the Fluke models, and you can get a good one for like $125. Yeah. And I kind of stepped up to the FLIR E4 handheld, and that'll set you back a whole lot more than that. But I bought mine off of Amazon, and it was $1,000, and I think the average person who does removals probably don't want to spend that kind of money. But this is what I'm doing 10.5 months out of the year.
Oh, exactly. You kind of, in those situations, you get what you pay for when it comes to tools. I mean, if you're going to be putting it to that much use, you want to get something that's going to hold up.
Right, and they make, they make little images that can connect to your phone, for iPhone, smartphones, Androids. Fleur even has one, I believe. That's a pretty good little model. I got one from Home Depot. I didn't really care for it too much, but the beauty of that is I was able to try it out, and it just didn't suit my particular needs. But I was able to bring it back and get a full refund, and I put that towards the Fleur 4. When the temperatures you're trying to read are adjacent to the hive or above the mid 80s, I find that you're not going to get accurate readings anymore. So, when it heats up late summer, and let's say somebody's got a 2-story house, and I don't know, they're in the wall upstairs, and that part of the building, they don't have a lot of AC going upstairs. Usually they'll cool the downstairs, and you go to use your thermometer, your thermal imager, or whatever, and you hit the wall, and it's 87 degrees, 90 degrees. You're not going to get an accurate reading. So, but for the most part, where bees are entering the building, for the most part, the colony is going to be located pretty close to where they're entering. And so when the thermal equipment becomes obsolete, that's when the borescope, or what you call it, what did you call it, an endoscope camera?
Yep.
Endoscope.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's where those come in handy. You drill a little small hole. There's all different varieties out there. My first one just had a little eyepiece with a little flexible fiber optic thing with a little light on the end of it, and you could look in the wall. The one I have now is from Harbor Freight, like Yappy mentioned, and I can record video and everything. It's got a nice little viewing screen, and you could show your customer, hey, look what you got, going on in the wall here, and they think that's pretty cool. And also, they don't look at you like you're crazy when they actually see the bees in the wall.
Yeah, really. I'm telling you.
Because a lot of these people, they see bees going in and out of a little hole in the outside, and they've grabbed the wasp spray, and they don't know why. They still have bees, and you're sitting there explaining to them, well, what you're seeing coming and going is probably 1%, or maybe a little bit more than that of the true numbers that are within the void space. They can't appreciate that. They don't have that understanding. And then when you show them on that little viewing screen, they're like, oh, wow, well, this guy wasn't joking, I got something going on in here.
Oh, yeah.
So,
and I find now I've had somewhere in a situation like that. This is where I really like that endoscope because it's got the camera, and I can use mine because mine hooks up to my smartphone, so I can do the recording and all that too. And it's nice because, like you say, you get to show it to them, but you also, for me, I don't know, maybe it's the people, a lot of the folks in the bees that I deal with, but I swear I've got the biggest stinkers of bee colonies, because half the time I swear the entrance will be in one spot, and these little turkeys will go out and be 5 feet away. And I mean, they're running a marathon to get from the colony to the entrance that they're using. So you don't want to start cutting right where they're coming in and out at. I have to make sure I'm looking to find the nest, so I'm not cutting up half the wall. You want to get only where they're at. I don't know if you guys get them that ornery down there, but up here I get some stinkers.
Well, I think there's a definite reason why that is. Okay.
Yeah.
And like I said, for the most part, though, down here with our construction, the colony is going to be pretty dang close to where they're entering. But if they're not, usually it's because the void space they're entering maybe has a little bit too much daylight entering, or draft, or something like that, or maybe somebody did some spraying or used some caulking, spray foam, or something like that, and the bees have actually moved over.
I've also noticed that when they're by a water line or something like that, where there's a lot of wet water moistness, that they tend to move away from that. They'll use the hole that's next to a water pipe or an inlet, but then they'll travel and build the nest further away because they don't want to be by all the heavy moisture.
Yeah, it could be a couple different reasons. Maybe that area is getting too much heat, or whatever it is. But
they'll travel.
Good reason. Yeah, just another good reason. But before you open something up, try to verify where they are. Because we had a guy actually there was a fellow, it sounds like he's kind of new to all this. I don't really know him personally, but a buddy of mine wound up going behind someone that had tried several times to remove a colony. Maybe he saw some YouTube videos or something. I don't know. But, yeah, he took some vinyl siding off, and the bees were between the floor, and he took his Sawzall, and he was cutting chunks out of the band board, and he had a shop vac, and, you know, if you're going to use a bee vac, you better have a regulator on it, you would kill bees. So this was like bad news bears, bee removal, and the guy wound up leaving his equipment there. I guess he got so embarrassed, he didn't even want to go back. I don't know. But, so yeah, the little 10, 15-minute videos that you see, you know, you're looking at a small sample of what transpired.
Exactly.
During that process.
Well, you know, so, a lot of guys like you know, I tell people all the time, they'll tell me, hey, I saw JP and Shawi, the bicker, because I am always telling people to watch your videos, you know, and just to get an idea. And they'll come up and they'll say, oh, yeah, I've seen this and that. Oh, well, that didn't look like it was that hard. I said, you got to understand. You know, JP's one of those guys who, A, has been doing it so long, he knows the little tricks to it and makes it look easier than it really is. And two, he's got a really great editing software. You know, there's some stuff in there.
That's it right there. It's all about the editing, Tony.
and you know, but that's all of YouTube, though. That's not just you. And I'm not just picking on you, but, you know, everybody wants to show their best when they get on YouTube. Nobody really, except me. I'm the only one dumb enough to show my mistakes because hopefully somebody will learn from it. But otherwise, most people.
I have a bloopers thing every now and then, too.
Yeah, I've seen some of them.
Keep it real.
but, you know, so most people see that, you know.
Yeah. Getting back to one last little point I want to make about this, though, is, you know, anybody out there listening, you know, we encourage you, if there's a building or something that has bees in it that you want to access, you know, if you can, you know, try to consult with somebody who's done it before. You know, if you're in a bee club, you know, maybe I can make that a project, you know, maybe one Saturday or something like that, or whatever, and go over there as a team, and that way you can kind of sharpen your sword, so to speak. You can learn from people more experienced and just watch and observe. You know, a lot of this is just understanding bees, you know, and how the messages that they put out, you know, you got to observe what they're telling you. And, you know, a lot of this we can make work because honeybees are highly social in nature.
Yeah.
And so once you understand them and you understand their system, you can kind of make these things work for you. You know, basically you're removing what's over here and you're trying to get them over here. And so, you know, but it's a physical process. You know, some people have this idea, well, I'm going to put a box over here and maybe they'll go in my box. It's just not like that. When they get established, they're there. And, you know, they're zeroed in and you're going to have to physically move them. But consult somebody experienced if you can. And that'll help you a good bit and keep you out of hot water.
Definitely. You always want to cover your bases. Double, you know, like the old carpenter's thing, you know, measure twice and cut once. It's the same thing, you know, with bees, you're doing live bee removal. You want to get it right before you get in there. Andy, you're looking like, I can't tell if the expression is you're just that tired or you have a question.
No, I'm actually very interested in the way this conversation is going today. Cause, you know, I've done several cutouts, but the ones I did were outside with you. So I'm looking forward to this spring getting into more of the cutouts in the homes. I've watched enough of JP's videos and I've talked enough to JP to know that, yeah, those videos don't show it all. So this, you know, for me is interesting because the idea of not just being a beekeeper, but also being in the removal business is appealing to me. So I'm enjoying the conversation about tools, and I'm sure I'm going to see the different implements you use, the endoscope and the dang it, I didn't even get a 250 word on that one. Okay, fine. You guys anyways. But
it was $1.50 at best, man. I already said it 3 times. Come on.
Oh, that where I heard it from. Well, that's a good apprentice for you, okay? I'm repeating your words without even knowing it.
No, and that's the nice thing is because when you get opportunities like, you're getting ready to get into, not just beekeeping, but the business of beekeeping and the things related to that. So it gives me an opportunity as somebody that's bringing you along with me, because I know JP and I have talked about this too. When you bring people along and it's their first or second time, they're still kind of helping out because they're learning as you go. It causes us to slow down and really rethink how we're going about it so we can both explain it better. And sometimes I know for myself, just having somebody there watching will make me rethink a couple of things like, oh, you know what? This probably will work better from the last time. It forces you to slow down and focus more rather than going off. You do it, 1,000 times. And after a while, some days you're just kind of almost going on automatic and just doing something, and having those people there help you focus a little more because you have to turn around and try to explain it to them. Am I right, JP?
Yeah, you're right on with that. I had 3 people next to me yesterday. I was removing bees out of a little makeshift shed. The guy used like 2x6, 1x6 decking, and I didn't really. I mean, they're right there. I'm doing my thing, right, trying to get these bees out. I'm grabbing pieces of comb with a couple thousand bees on them. I'm shaking them, and they're right next to me, and I'm like, y'all are good, right? And they're like, man, all of a sudden these bees are going airborne. So you forget sometimes, But hey, if you're confident and you're not getting stung, they feel confident and they're going to trust you. I guess they have no choice,
That's just true. And when they see you run, then they know it's time to fly.
That's right. And you know that saying, right? You just need to outrun the other guy.
That's right. You trip somebody real quick, boy. Get him.
I'm in trouble then.
Oh, heck yeah.
I ain't running. I'm dancing my way out of there, but I'm not running out of there.
Now,
with Yappy, I'll just take a pack of ramen noodles and I'll throw it, and he just goes for it. You know what I mean? And then that's it.
He stops. He stops to pick up the noodles.
Decoy.
He can't outrun me, but if he turns around and drops a pack of ramen noodles, he's got my attention.
Now, see, going back a little bit to the bees in the wall and locating them, I remember I saw a video not too long ago, and I swear this fellow, you guys know who I'm talking about, Beeciferous. I swear this guy could smell them through the wall. He can get right to them just because he's sniffing them out. He's part coon dog, from what I understand.
Oh, Beeciferous, man, huh?
I had to have a talk with that guy, though. Yappy knows him well. He kind of trained Yappy a little bit, but it was one thing that I really had to teach Yappy, and Yappy's now an authority on these thermal tools and the borescope and all that stuff. But Yappy came down first couple of times. He'd take out his disco ball, hit a little arrow painted on it, and he'd spin that thing. Wherever that arrow would stop, he could swear that's where the bees were.
Hey,
and then he started opening stuff up. I'm like, man, come on.
Oh, come on.
You just on it, man.
I mean, I thought we were all friends here. We was going to tell the truth. I didn't believe you're going to turn around and start making that stuff up.
So it's not true about the ramen noodles at all?
No, not the ramen noodles.
I see.
Dude, that's straight up state law right there, man.
Oh, yeah, you know when you enter a house that's got dogs, where you keep a milk bone in your pocket? Well, I keep ramen noodles around, just in case I need a good decoy in Yappy,
Like that.
Yep.
I'm not going to admit to it, but when we get into one of our removals and I get to talking too much, I've figured out he throws a pack of noodles down out of his pocket and it just kind of like snaps me right out of that thought process.
If that don't work, I grab the duct tape.
Listen, yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, back on under the structural removal thing, we've veered a little bit off, but it's something I want to talk about again, because going into this thing, we were kind of touching on this. We were talking about light, because a lot of us use work lights, especially if we're working in shaded places on the interior, says we're working doing, comb removals from the walls or a roof or something like that. And we were talking about the quality of light, how intense it is, and the coloration of the light. And we were talking about people who use like white colored lights versus red over the lights. and the effect that has on bees. And I know you and I, we were saying about how, different reactions we've had using white light versus red light. And have you tried anything else before? And how much does the light really affect when you're doing a removal? I know for me, I if I put it far enough back, it doesn't seem to cause too much of a problem. But the closer I get, and I think it's not so much because of the light, but more the heat, because those kind of lights, them lamps put out a lot of heat, and you get it too close, and it gets them more active. But stick it far back up enough, and it's not too bad. But when you're trying to investigate that little bit of differentiation of light, does that have an effect for you, JP?
I use, when I'm in a room that has windows or a door, I'm using natural light. The room's only so big, so I mean, I'm taking what you're saying. How can I put this? I don't think I've ever had an opportunity where I can actually use a light source where it's far enough to project light but not attract bees.
Right.
So if I'm in a room that's dark, completely dark, then I'm going to use a red light's my go-to. I've heard people say they use a green light too. So those spectrums aren't as bright, and particularly red. I mean, that's what I'm most familiar with, and that they'll like I'm in an attic space or something like that, or really dark room. They do not go to a red light spectrum like they do other spectrums.
No, I got a headband even. I'll wear this little headband over, my hat or something like that. It's like little LED lights, but they put red light out. I tell you what, I love that thing like nothing else, because keeps your hands free. You look like a total geek doing it, but the bees don't care, but it's red light, and they tend to ignore it for me, and when you're working in small up close places.
Yeah. Now you can use white light sporadically, I mean, if you really need to see for some reason, you can turn on a flashlight or use that white beam, but don't leave it on too long. I mean, you'll know if it's too long, the bees will start covering it. But
they're flying right at it. Now, do you use it on purpose sometimes? I talked to a fella, I don't know how long ago. He was using light as on purpose to lure bees away, so that as he was doing the cutout, he was pushing them he said he would use the light to attract them to the far corner of the room, and that way they were leaving the comb as he was doing it and not flying around him as much. That was his story. Now, I've never seen it work that way, but, every beekeeper's got different experiences.
My response to that would be you're probably going to stress those bees more than anything. It's like the bees that are trying to come back to the hive, and maybe they're living in somebody's shed, or somebody's got a colony in their backyard, domestic colony, and there's a porch light or something. Those bees are going to fly around that light. They get stressed.
Oh yeah.
So if it's not, I guess it could potentially work. I'd probably use a yellow light, maybe something a little bit dimmer.
Yeah.
But that white light, I mean, they're definitely going to go to it, but they're going to stress too.
I just thought it was interesting, the
I
different things people do.
Yeah.
It's crazy the tricks people come up with. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
We got the swarm commander here.
Is that the beekeeper of the swamp?
That's a swamp Billy. There he is. Did you get him?
I got him.
Trying.
Just left.
You got him. All right. Where were they?
They were on a valve about 3 foot off the ground. They've been there since Thursday.
Were they dry? Were they growly?
No, I just vacuumed them up. No problem. No stings. They were gentle.
Awesome. How many? How big a
Never
swarm?
tried to start building. About a 4-pound swarm.
Oh, that's not too bad. But you're used to them 10-pounders, right?
Do all that. No, 7, 8 pounders. Kind of like my shakes.
Now, see, that reminds me of a story. I can't remember who it was. We got into a point where it turned into the old fishing stories. One guy caught a 2-pound swarm. Another guy caught a 4-pound swarm. Then another guy came out with a story where he caught a 7-pound swarm. Pretty soon we got people talking about 20-pound swarms. And I'm like, really, guys? This ain't a tuna or a mackerel we're talking about. This is a swarm. And, but, it gets fun. Swarms, to me, though, they actually are the fishing stories of beekeeping, because you can they're so crazy. They're so different when you go out to get them. You know, you could have the smallest, tiniest swarm hanging, that little cluster hanging there in a ball, and you think they're never going to make it. There's just not enough bees. And, 3, 4, 5 years later, you still got them hanging around and they're doing great. You can have a big 6-pound, swarm hanging there, and they just can't keep up for nothing. They're just so almost chaotic. That's just the way I look at it.
Hey, shall we? Just paying attention to our last couple weeks of talking. Okay, you got the swarm. With the swarm, the queen goes with the swarm. So I'm assuming you got the queen and located the queen as well?
Yes.
Good deal.
Did you actually find it, though? Did JP have to come down there and find it for you?
He sent me a text, and I told him they were on the top right of the valve.
And you got an eye, JP. You definitely got an eye.
Yeah, I believe that. He put his
He what?
He did what?
If you say,
when Jeff passes on, he got an eye.
I can see him. I can see him without the eagle eye glasses. Just saying.
You lie.
Dude, you can't even identify a honeybee without them glasses on.
Man.
Oh, I agree, but I don't sugarcoat it.
See that? He agrees, folks.
The eagle eye. Well, that's because he's farsighted. He can see him from a distance. You get him up close. I got an uncle that way. He sees everything from 20 miles away, and he can spot it dead on. You put it right in front of his face, and he don't know what the heck he's looking at.
Man, we were talking about editing earlier, Tony. I mean, man, you can't imagine how many times I've been on a job, and I had to edit out. Shawi, the queen's right there. Look, don't you see it? No, I don't.
Yeah,
she's right there. Look at that queen. She's right there. She's right there. I gotta edit that out. Look good.
The wonder of technology.
Hey, if he don't find the queen, though, he can't sleep that night. He got to be the one to find the queen.
He's talking about you, man.
JP gets mad at me when I find the queen before he's ready.
It's all about the timing. It's presentation, man.
No, actually, you know what? There is some merit in what you just said, and that's when we're filming. One time in particular, they had bees underneath the toilet of a camp, and I think we inverted the floor or something, and he got her, and he came on out. He's like, I found. I'm like, dude, I'm not even filming yet. Hold on, let me turn the camera on. He was so excited.
He just gets caught up.
JP was so mad before you put the camera on.
What's that?
I said, you got mad at me because I got the queen before you put the camera on.
Yeah, because we were filming it. You got to get the money shot.
You keep cutting out, shall we?
We were 20.
Anyway. Yappy, how come you're so... Well, you're not quiet. You're making all kind of racket back there, but what are you doing?
What did I do? I've just been sitting here.
You've been sitting there...
Well, how you doing, Yappy?
Hey, baby. Hey, you about ready for some buffet?
Hey, did you see that little video that girl put on my page about that raccoon stuck in a hole?
Yeah.
With the back legs, sticking out, shall we?
Out the tree, yeah.
Yeah, it was like a military guys. Weren't they in a tank? They were in a tank or something, weren't they?
No. This was one that she just put up. It was stuck in the knot hole of a tree.
Oh, a tree. Oh, okay.
Yeah, we ate too much buffet and stuck in a tree.
Too many vanilla shakes.
That's what happens when you take them early lunches in the middle of a cutout. You can't go do the cutout and then think you're going to get back into the wall.
You see, that was just deal. This year, I can't get stuck in a tree. I'm losing so much weight.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Right, JP?
Nah, not really. In your mind, I'll let you think that anyway.
Hey, that's a good thing. I know about how I do it up here. When you guys do cutouts and you go to lunch, okay, how long of a lunch break do you guys like to wait? Are you doing it so you're timing it for your cutouts on the bees? Because I've had people ask questions on Facebook, on the Be Smart page and all that, where they want to know, I see you guys, they do open up a wall and then you're just going to lunch and then they're coming back and they're like, how does that work out where you got this wall exposed of bees and you guys are out to lunch? So people want to know, what's JP and Shawwee's bees doing while they eating buffet?
No. You can't leave when you got a wall open full of bees. So we might have a late lunch that day, or you might prep everything and then go have lunch. But no, once you open that wall, you're committed to it pretty much.
That's right. Well, like I said, that's the questions people have. That's what happens when they watch YouTube. You lose some of the context sometimes because you're so into the cut and go, and then they see these scenes when you guys they don't catch everything, so they're just thinking you guys are like wandering around. I'm like, I know I won't walk away for lunch, but maybe these guys, maybe the bees down there, maybe it's a New Orleans thing or a Louisiana thing where no, we all got to take a lunch break. The guys got to go out before they can finish taking us out, so the bees just chill.
I think it's more of a Shawwee thing because I got 2 sandwiches with me today, but when I'm with him, he's got to go have buffet.
Oh, he got sandwiches.
Right.
Believe that, Tony.
Yeah, Tony.
Yeah, he got sandwiches.
Yeah.
What you gonna feed me? Cutouts.
No, listen. I got a completely different way I handle it. What I'll do is I'll get about halfway through. When I get hungry, I do one of 2 things. I know the address where I'm at, and I order a pizza, or I just turn around and I put on some disco music, maybe a little Barry Manilow, and I keep the vacuum running, and they think I'm there, but I'm really not.
Disco bees. It's a disco break.
Yeah, because most people are not going to walk into a room when somebody's playing disco, because we all know disco's dead.
Whoa! We done talked about this. Disco may be dead, but so is Elvis, and you ain't turning around crying about that either.
Look, it's the hip hop world as far as I'm concerned.
I'm just hanging with Waylon and Willie and the boys. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, they don't want to go in the room because they know Yappy might have the disco ball spinning with his pink leotards and he's playing Donna Summer. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Hey, if I can get the job done and I'm doing it when I'm happy, so what? Okay, there ain't no rules to this.
Oh, I can see Yappy right now. It's raining men.
Oh Lord.
My best job working with JP and LaPlace area, where we hurry up and get it done, then we go run to Menendorf's and eat some good seafood, aren't JP?
Oh man, when we
Remember
go?
That?
See now,
we just gotta make all meet up and just go there.
There you go. See now, for me up here, Anthony, this is where you're going to find out. I am the pizza king. I eat on location, so I'll be calling people, I'll be like Pizza Hut or whoever's closest, and I have them deliver it, and I'll be like up on the roof while I'm doing a cutout from a roof or something. I'll be up on the roof calling pizza, and they'll be like, where you at? This address. And they'll be like, well, how do I find it? Just look for the guy up on the roof playing with the bees, man. They don't believe me until they show up there.
Don, I know y'all.
Hey, go ahead, shall we?
Huh?
Hello?
What'd you say?
I
said, go ahead.
Know, what's a rough? A rough dog barking.
That's because you got weird dogs making weird sounds. That's what. What's a roof? He don't know what a roof is. That's them Louisiana boys.
A roof.
What do you call it?
About a roof?
No. See, roof. That's what cheerleaders do. They go roofing for you. It's a roof. You swamp Billy.
It's a roof.
Yep. What kind of pizza do you get? What's cut
I
out?
get the round kind.
No, I mean, what's cut out pizza? What's your favorite pizza, man? What do you eat? I mean, do you have a special pizza for your cutouts?
No, man. You can't just put a limit to it. No, I do. Full meat lovers. Yeah, you got to go full meat lovers with a little bell pepper, onions. You keep the mushrooms though, man. No, I ain't doing no mushrooms.
See now up here, cutout pizza is hamburger, pepperonis, and green peppers.
I get a mushroom. I get a mushroom off a tree. I ain't getting no mushroom off a pile of poop.
Why? What's the difference?
I don't know. Could they make me loopy?
That's
you get them out the cow patty, then you're fine.
Oh, I knew there was something wrong with them things.
a little bit.
No, I like my tree mushrooms. Right, but one you mix that up with a little bit of Alfredo sauce and put some chicken in it. Oh man, oh man.
Now, y'all keep
I
your
like
little.
them battered and deep fried.
Y'all can keep that.
You can do that with these, but that's hey, we ain't talking about mushrooms. We're talking about swarms. Talk about a swarm.
I thought we were talking about pizza and swarms. Hey, speaking of swarms, shall we? You didn't finish answering that question.
I'm gonna have to cut out at this minute. So
all right, bud. Well, good luck, and we'll
enjoy the rest of your day.
We're looking forward to your videos, JP.
All right. What's that?
So we're looking forward to seeing the video on this now that we know about it.
Oh, yeah. I don't know about that on this one. Maybe some little clips and stuff.
There you go.
I better roll at this point, though. All
right,
later.
All right.
Hey, JP, real quick. Dang, we already lose him.
Yep.
You know, I know the audience can't see him, but I'm missing his live face.
You know he's going to run with that, right?
Oh, I know this. I know. It's okay. Got to tease a little bit every now and then.
Now we got to. What you need to do is you need to send a text to him, say, "Sweet chocolate misses you."
Yeah, whatever.
No, we didn't call him sweet chocolate. What did he call him?
Wait. This is for after the program where we're about to go. We don't want to go there right now with this audience.
But maybe that helps him relax to do the cutout properly. We're talking about cutouts. We got to get ourselves prepped to do it right, man. Do you have a prep routine? Some people play baseball and they do a routine before they go play baseball. Do you have a routine before you do a cutout? Do you change special socks, shall we?
No.
No? You don't have a routine? Yappy, what do you use a different inhaler, right? You go from Darth Yappy to Yappy 3PO or what?
No, I got to change my vape flavors from the sweet stuff to the caramely stuff because they eat you up if you use the sweet stuff. They think you're a giant flower. Yeah, they come and maul me for nectar. But
I bet you that might actually have an effect. People don't think about little things like that until they get up in there.
Well, I turn around and you guys have asked that 100 times on whether or not the flavors of the vape actually messes with the bees. So I was in one of my hives checking it out 2 days ago. I took a big old hit off that thing and blew it right in on them. Didn't even care.
No,
Tony, if it replaces my pine straw smoke, I might actually enjoy it.
There you go. I know you talked to a couple of weeks ago about doing.
All right, buddies,
I'm
gonna cut out because I got these bees back outside.
All right, bud. Thanks for checking in.
Hello.
Yeah, we hear you.
I hear you, Shawi.
All right, folks. Well, there's Shawi came and got his swarm and told us about it, and he's got a boogie out. JP's on his way to do a cutout. Yappy, how you looking on time for yours? When do you get a runaway too?
Yeah, I'm fixing to roll because I'm backed into the driveway, got the spot all cleaned out, and we're fixing to start cutting into some drywall.
I hear you, man. Sounds exciting. Well, as far as me and Anthony, we're still in the cool times, but we're getting all prepped, and I'm already setting appointments, so we're going to be joining you fellas shortly here. Just like to thank everybody for listening. I want to put a big shout out to Ted and Stephanie Kalhoff, the owners of B&B Farms, our sponsor for Be Smart, and awesome folks. They got a lot going on they're developing out there. So everybody, y'all have fun. Be prepared to do a proper cutout and swarm capture. And don't forget, folks, you got to be smart. You guys have a good one. Good luck, yeah. Want to hear about it.
Later,
thanks, guys. We'll see you later.
Bye. All right, yeah. Anthony?
Yep.
Have a good one, man.
Cool. All right, guys.